When we asked about your Gaza proposal, a lot of people are talking about, obviously, attention.
Everybody loves it.
President Trump giving Gaza-Lago a 5-star review. 47 dropping a game-changing plan to bring stability to the Middle East with a proposed real estate acquisition to have the United States take over the war-torn Gaza Strip and rebuild it into the, quote, Riviera of the Middle East.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out. History has, just can't let it keep repeating itself. We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal. And I don't want to be cute, I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad, this could be so magnificent.
Caroline Levitt giving the media some details on the building blueprint for the MAGA Strip.
President Trump is an outside-of-the-box thinker and a visionary leader who solves problems that many others, especially in this city, claim are unsolvable.
Can you explain this reversal and how building and owning Gaza squares with America First foreign policy?
I would reject the premise of your question that this forces the United States to be entangled in conflicts abroad. The president has not committed to putting boots on the ground in Gaza. He has also said that the United States is not going to pay for the rebuilding of Gaza. His administration is going to work with our partners in the region to reconstruct.
And right on cue, the liberal media and the Democrats are falling for the trap set by President Trump and freaking out over the MAGA in the Mediterranean plan. Watch.
It is part of the culmination of what I view to be genocide of the Palestinian people. And this is genuinely one of the most horrific humanitarian catastrophes that we've seen in modern history.
It's the wackiest idea, hard to say, he's ever come up with.
He thinks that the coastline of Gaza is going to be great for some new hotel.
It's preposterous and it's illegal.
American imperialism at its roots.
Ethnic cleansing of Palestinians.
Throwing a match on an already very volatile region.
I will bring articles of impeachment against the president for dastardly deeds proposed and dastardly deeds done.
All right, Dana, they say it's a crazy idea, but you know what's a crazier idea? Having the Palestinians live next to the Israelis.
Well, yes. Okay, so yes, when I first saw it, I was like, wait, what? We're going to do what? I'm like, okay, I'm here for it because you know how I am on all of those things. Next stop, Cuba for me. But I think this is the most compassionate thing that anyone has said about the Palestinians for a long time. Because if you think about it, what was the alternative? Go back to the rubble? There's no sewage system, there's no plan, and just allow the continuation of the festering of the hate against the Israelis so that they could lob rockets from Gaza into Israel? That was the plan? So what was Biden doing? They basically allowed Iran to continue to get more and more power. And I know that the Democrats are going to freak out about 5 things a day, and he knew exactly what he was doing. They certainly did that. But now everybody's saying, wait, well, maybe there is another way to do this. And what's interesting from the Israeli political standpoint, on Bibi Netanyahu's right, and he has a little bit of a problem keeping his coalition together because everybody's always after him and it's a difficult situation there. It's a tough neighborhood. On his right, they're very frustrated with him for not doing more, but they love this idea. They've been bringing it up for about 3 decades. Like, why don't we ask somebody to do that? Plus, if you think about what Trump did in the first term with NATO, he said, you guys want us to be a part of NATO? Then you got to pay up. What this did is also say to the Arab world, if you're not going to help take care of the Palestinians, okay, I guess I will. I guess I'll have to do it. And now they're like, well, actually, no, and now you can have the focus on, okay, so what about those innocent Palestinians? What are you going to do with them? I'm not saying that there's going to be like, I don't think that any single, not even one boot of any American is going to be on the ground to do this. What it did is it changed the conversation. I think it's very interesting. I don't think the alternative to going back to the way it was before, to just wait for the next October 7th, was the best idea. I just want to add one other thing. Abe Greenwald is an executive editor at Commentary Magazine. I listen to him a lot. He has a new newsletter that's free. I think it's free. I'm a subscriber, but I think you can sign up for this newsletter for free.
Phew, thank God.
I think you can, but you should subscribe. But he said this today. Thomas Jefferson said, if you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. And he said the world is already different for what Trump put forward, meaning that now we can actually have a conversation about something else. And I think it's very exciting. And it's kind of fun to watch the Democrats freak out about genocide. Genocide? Well, what was the alternative? We're not talking about genocide. We're talking about getting them to safety and getting them back to a place where they could actually live in peace.
Greg, have you put down a down payment for a 3-bedroom condo?
I'm already investing in a Dave & Buster's. You know, being a new father, I can say that this is purely a dad move. You know, you're in a huge fight with your sister over the remote. Your dad comes down and he turns off the TV and he just takes the remote. Yeah. No, Gutfeld. And that creates a common enemy. Dad. Right? So the quarrel is over. Now you got to deal with dad, and it forces the siblings to come up with some creative alternative. And suddenly all these Middle East countries, Jordan and Egypt, those are the kids, have to go, well, I don't want dad involved. What can we somebody? He goes, well, then maybe you have to start thinking about, you know, paying for the rebuilding or monitoring the peace or taking in some of the refugees. It causes the kids involved to go, whoa, not so fast. We didn't really want this. And they don't want America in the middle of everything, but exactly what you said. He said, well, you're not doing anything about it. And you're right. This is why, the way you described it, the fact that like he is creating a new conversation. He kind of forces the world to conform and react to him. This is why he's not a president. He's now officially a legend. And a legend creates a story around you, around yourself. And world leaders, they want to see him. They want selfies with him. They want to please him. It's a phenomenon. It's not about shaking the box. He throws the box into traffic. You know, he may make more progress simply by doing this than has been done in ages.
Judge Jeanine, when you saw that Donald Trump was saying that we should take over Gaza, what was the first thing you thought?
Oh, my God. It was like, what did that say? Look, you know, it's true that whether this happens or not, this is a starting point of a negotiation. Donald Trump is someone who is very clear and has a vision, and he is a humanitarian. He thinks about the fact that these Palestinians have nothing to go back to. They only have hate and no future right now. They live among rubble and unexploded bombs as well as destroyed buildings. There is no future. Are the other Arab countries going to come in and take care of them? Egypt is not. Jordan is not. Saudi Arabia is not. And we've got this faux hatred of Israel by the Arab countries. And what I mean by that is that the Palestinians they need to let them believe that they've been wronged by Israel so that the Palestinians don't go into their countries. So, yeah, it's terrible what Israel is doing, and the Palestinians need to keep their land because we don't want them in our country. Queen Rania of Jordan, her husband Abdullah, you know, for a while had the Palestinians there until there was Black September. And there was Arab upon Arab violence, and Palestinian and Jordanians went to war. And you've got El-Sisi saying, I don't want them. No one wants them. They went into Lebanon because Lebanon didn't have a border that was strong enough. Lebanon was almost a democratic nation. It had banking institutions. It was a major Christian nation. They had democratically elected government, and it was taken down by the PLO and Hezbollah and all those gangs. So the only future that these Palestinians have is an economic future. And that can only happen if their country is developed where there's no underground tunnels, where the kids aren't raised to hate Israel. And Trump doesn't want a nation built. Trump wants a peaceful area, just like he did with the Abraham Accords. And so his job right now is to figure out where they go in the meantime, to leverage that, and to make sure that he, quote, works with the partners in the region to get some kind of conclusion where there is ultimately peace.
Jessica, do you have a better idea?
Listen, the two-state solution that we have all wanted for decades is elusive, and unfortunately, I think it will continue to be so. And lots of people have tried to get it done and have failed. not just in the U.S. This was a huge issue for Tony Blair, who dedicated his career to trying to do this and couldn't pull it off. So, no, I personally do not have a better solution at this moment. But I know that this solution is untenable. Certainly to the Arab countries that surround Palestine, who have been clear that they are not taking these people in. The former deputy prime minister of Jordan said this is a declaration of war on the Arab people. And if he's such a humanitarian, then you take those 2 million people and you bring them here to the U.S., which is the country you are in charge of, and you resettle them. Well, I'm just saying you can't force these people down other countries' throats.
But other countries have said they'll take them. Like the Albanians are saying, we could help.
We could take a few, but you're talking about 2 million people.
Spread them out. Maybe some could go to Greenland.
If you want to know how crazy the idea is, though, you have to look no further than Susie Wiles' face as he said it. There's a great shot of her, his chief of staff, the Ice Maiden, I think they call her, looking very expressive at that moment where she was like, oh my God. What is he saying? And Mike Waltz kept it together, but he looked a little surprised too. And we know where the idea came from. Last year, Jared Kushner said, I think you could get some really great waterfront property in Gaza. It could be really beautiful. And this was widely covered. And so maybe he has been brewing this. Maybe there are some great contracts to come. But the point is that you can't just wait.
I have to step in. I'm sorry. But first of all, on Call Me Back podcast today with Dan Senor, he and Rich Goldberg were talking about apparently Donald Trump watched the entire October 7th video on Monday. Mm-hmm. This is not something that he's like, oh, I can't wait to put my hotel down there. He's like, what was the alternative? Where's the compassion for the Palestinian people from anybody else? Nobody is saying that they would do anything for them.
But then if you are the one who's going to drop in and save everybody for it, don't you have to put some of your money where the mouth is?
We have funded Gaza more than any other country.
But what are you doing with the good people? Listen, I know that Gaza was overrun with terrorists. I've watched a significant portion of the October 7th footage. I have not watched the whole thing in its entirety. But you cannot say to all the neighboring countries that they just need to make room for millions of people that they don't want. And
why not?
Then you are the world's policeman. Then you are interventionist. Then you are going back on every promise that you made on the campaign.
States. They don't appreciate our climate or our food. Oh, so what should we do? Let them live in rubble and hate the Westerners and hate everyone else and the Jews?
Where are you shipping that? You can't make Jordan open up. You can't make
this makes the Arab world have to step up. Yeah. And it's smart.
It's not about forcing Jordan or anyone else. It's about making people realize that for economic success in that region, we need to have peace and a rebuilding of Gaza.
And instead of Jessica of saying, no, we can't, let's try yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
I loved yes, we can and hope and change.
Well, where is that? Where is the yes, we can?
Well, maybe he'll get a third
Where's
term.
the joy?
Maybe. It's already underway.
Sorry, it's non-consecutive. So.
Up next, sorry, Jessica, but it looks like the Democrats are having a bad case of Doge derangement syndrome.
We will win. We will win. We will win.